able to see, but what she has been created. She listens the music from the heart, which we cannot listen it in our open ears. We cannot feel it in our open heart, but she defines the music more than us. She sees the color of this world more than us. Similarly, there are so many examples where we can say they are not at all disabled. So, the purpose of this module is to help teachers and teacher educators relook at the diversity existing in the classrooms, adopt pedagogies that are most suitable to make classrooms and teaching learning inclusive. The suggestions given in the module are based on research and experiences to meet the different learning needs in the same class. It is said, well said. If a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. Here I must quote for the teachers. Sometimes we got very, what I can say, stressed, very upset, very irritated and impatient. We shout at the child. How many times I taught you, but you are not able to understand? You can't do anything. तुम कभी भी कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते हो, तुमको तो समझ में आता ही नहीं. But have you ever thought of, if the child doesn't understand you the way you taught, did you ever think that you can change the way of your teaching as the child can understand you? So, it is now a challenge before all the educators that we must have to change the practice of teaching or the traditional teaching style or method we have. It's not that the teachers should always feel, I know everything, what I said that is correct, and whatever the answer I have given, that must have to be learnt. You can't give your own answer. My dear friends, you must have to give the liberty to think critically, to analyze, so that you would be develop the analytical skill of the child. You would be developed that the child is able to think critically, is able to see the things differently, and all different things could be possible only when you are facilitating them. So, all equal, all different must have to be understood by you. So, the learning objectives of this module is to help all the teachers describe the educational policies, the national curriculum frameworks, development and the functions and the linkages among intended, transacted and assessed curriculum. Explain perspectives of the National Curriculum Framework 2005 and its transaction into syllabi and textbooks. Develop a richer understanding of diversity and acquire the attitudes for promoting inclusive education. Strengthen existing skills to improve children's learning outcomes using appropriate pedagogies. Use and adopt learning activities that foster gender sensitive classroom environment. Here I would like to say, because every day we are undergoing certain situations in the class, in the school, which now force us to think differently, to plan and prepare the strategies so that you could be able to handle the present generations. Do not forget, you are not teaching the dull mind, unknown mind, you are rather teaching the ignited mind. They are exposed to many things. They are able to think, able to imagine, able to create also. We are there only to support them, to understand them and to help them what way they can flourish. This is why it is important to understand the unpacking terminologies, policies and frameworks. What are the frameworks in the national education policies? National education policy first, Then the curriculum, national curriculum framework, teacher support material, syllabus, learning outcomes, textbooks. We all are very much acquainted with this practice. Now we must have to focus what are the things we need to take it as an accountability, as our responsibilities. Here as a learner, what should be inquired? What they should possess in them, that is learner. They must have to be allowed for the discussion, collaboration, creation, reflection, accountability, and that all would be possible if they have the inquisitiveness to inquiry. If they are able to question you, that means you are imparting them the true education. They are able to understand you. They are able to understand what is their responsibility equally in the classroom. So that's depend on all the teachers, that you have to understand the necessity of the child in the classroom. So here are what we discussed, how it is being defined from time to time. In 1968, the national education policy was started, again changed in 86, in again it is designed in 92, now in 2020, which we called as the new education policy 2020, which we are partially started following and will be followed from the next session or this session positively. So national curriculum framework, similarly it is 1975, 88, 2000 and 2005, which we are following exactly now. So this curriculum, nature of learning, knowledge of human development, provided by the accepted theories and societal influences. Similarly, the syllabus, theme and questions, objectives, suggested activities, resources and notes for teachers. That is altogether included in the syllabus. Then how should we design the textbook? It must be interactive. Activities based. Earlier, I think most of you have known to this earlier, that we have the communicative practice. The textbooks were communicative, then it was interactive. So this activities based, social concerns, gender inclusion, there is no difference between a boy and girl, we are imparting educations to all equally. Inbuilt evaluation, integrate arts, health and physical education. This is altogether we are following in our school. Teacher support material, which will really are the books, lab manuals, exemplar problems, educational kits and e-resources. Nowadays, obviously we could talk about the e-resources. This e-word is really bringing, synchronizing the world into one place. You can find everything in the world in your, कहते हैं ना आपकी मुट्ठी में है, दुनिया आपकी मुट्ठी में है. So now this e-resources has a greater impact on everybody. So it is expected that the learning outcomes must have to be greater. Process based statements to understand what children achieve across the year in terms of knowledge, skills and change in personal social qualities. It also includes pedagogies that teachers need to implement for enhancing learning. Here I would like to go for, let me tell you, our training session is an interactive section. I think already it is half an hour going to be, it is one sided now. I would now like to go for certain activities, that is only you need to participate as we are not present in one place. So let us go for certain activities which you need to open your chat box, and there would be a link of Mentimeter, can utilize it and you would be answer, you would at least giving 1 or 2 words what would be asked now. So here let us ponder, what do these terms mean to us? Curricular expectations, learning objectives, pedagogical processes, learning outcomes. How are these terms linked to each other? Let us know. Curricular expectations, it is discipline specific or grade specific. What is the learning objectives? Content based and used to bring out curricular expectations, and each content area will have specific learning objectives. Pedagogical processes help achieve learning as per objectives, involves creating a learning environment and experience using various learning resources to provide different learning experiences. And learning outcomes, not content specific and can be used for learners in any context. Here you can see the classroom situations, how all the students are equally privileged, equally their learning or accepting or being a part of this curriculum transaction in the classroom. Teacher's role is to involve all the students in any activities or could ensure that all are equal and equal right to receive all the learning whatever is being transacted by the teacher in the classroom. So, towards achieving learning outcomes, learners have to be provided with opportunities to work in pairs, groups, individually, to observe and explore the immediate surroundings, record and express them in oral, written, drawings, gestures, to discuss with elders and visit different places, collect information from them on the topic of their choice and discuss their findings in the groups. So, my dear teachers, here I would like to add one more thing, that sometimes we asked the students to do only whatever is there in the book and whatever you taught them in the classroom. But we are really never give the rarely give them the opportunity to have an open discussions or to can give their views on this. So, the participation of the student is must. They must be have to get this chance to be involved, to discuss, to have questions, so that they would be only able to be develop their analytical skills. So, now I would like to show you a video. All of you please have a glance on it. I hope all of you liked this video. Here there is a story for you all. I hope most of you might have heard this story, or even all of you. So before I start this story, I would just like to tell you what exactly we mean to, what one should be, and how the teacher's role is greater in certain situations. As Galileo said once, you cannot teach students anything. You can only help them find it for themselves. Our importance as a teacher is to find out what they have inside. It means that through evaluation, the students should have a better understanding of the argument and its future repercussions. So here is a story based on this animal school, a fable to reflect on classroom processes. As we have for this 1 hour, I am not going to narrate much. I'll just read it. I'll help you in reading the stories, and or else it is on your screen. You also can read it on your own, but let me just read it out for you, so that we can able to kill the boredom. Then after all of you, please get ready to answer the Mentimeter. Once upon a time, the animals decided they must do something heroic to meet the problems of a new world, so they organized a school. And they had adopted an activity curriculum consisting of running, climbing, swimming and flying. I repeat, the curriculum they planned is consisting of running, climbing, swimming and flying. To make it easier to administer the curriculum, all the animals took all the subjects. आज we have given all the subjects ना, there is mathematics, science. बच्चे कहते हैं जब एक टीचर अगर एक ही सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा रहे हम सब क्यों पढ़ेंगे, सही बात है. But here animals also followed us because we are the superhuman, super animal. So they also followed us, took all the curriculum. It is decided now all the animals will take all the subjects, and they took also. They all are participated now. All of you please remember this, what are the curriculums being designed in the animal school? That is running, climbing, swimming and flying, right? So the dog was excellent in swimming, all of you know it. In fact, better than his instructor. But he made only passing grades in flying and was very poor in running. Since he was slow in running, he had to stay after school and also drop swimming in order to practice running. It happens, no? We are having remedial classes and students have to stay after the school over and to practice because he doesn't perform well in mathematics, and mathematics teacher just play the role of, and just like means what I can say, don't take it otherwise. Mathematics science teacher मेरा subject में नहीं कर, आज तुमको ना घर जाने ही नहीं दूंगा मैं. And the same thing happened now with this excellent swimmer duck. He's kept on practicing the running and forgotten swimming at the end. This was kept up until his webbed feet were badly worn and he was only average in swimming. But average was acceptable in school, so nobody worried about that, except the duck. Because he is average, average students are also good. Okay, we are giving the report card remarks. Okay, can do much better. So, beta practice it well. In the next session, E will come fabulously. But it was only disappointment for that child like dog. Now, the rabbit started at the top of the class in running, but had a nervous breakdown because of so much makeup work in swimming. And all of you know might be the rabbit, how does he enjoy all his running and all these things in the one place to another so quickly, but he has not been facilitated in other subjects. So the squirrel was excellent in climbing until he lost interest, as his teacher made him start from the ground up instead of the tree top down. And now almost have to, I hope all of you imagined the squirrel and what is his daily activities. Now what he is supposed to do, he has to learn also other subjects, and he was made to exert and then got C in climbing and D in running. See the squirrel's condition, C in climbing and D in running. The eagle was a problem child and was disciplined severely. In the climbing class, he beat all the others to the top of the tree, but was not liked as a. He insisted on using his own way to get there. I hope all of you must understood what eagle is and what is being asked to perform. At the end of the year, an abnormal eel that could swim exceedingly well and also run, climb and fly a little had the highest average and was the winner. See the consequences? The abnormal eel become winner. And the prairie ducks stayed out of school and fought the administration as they would not add digging and borrowing the curriculum to the curriculum. See how sad it is. Their scores was not at all added in the curriculum. How disappointing it was for them. So now, my dear friends, all of you please get ready and open your chat box. I hope there is the link available with you. Here, before you answer all these questions on your screen, I would like to know from you what are the curriculums are being decided in this animal school. Please write up. Why did the animals take the same subjects? Did they all benefit? Being average in all subjects was acceptable by the school. Did this suit all the animals? And why do you think the squirrel was not allowed to fly down from the treetop? Why was the eagle seen as a problem child? And why do you think the prairie ducks wanted digging and burrowing added to the curriculum? Now, before you answer all the questions, you please can take the screenshot and could answer on your own and can discuss it in your class. Before that, I would just like to know to answer the first question. And the second question is, what are the curriculums being decided in this animal school? All of you please utilize now your Mentimeter. I want to see this now. Let us see what are the good words or something has come from you. This has come. Is it? Wow, very nice, lovely. I didn't expect it could be reaching so early to me. Yeah, clarity, running, learning guided. Is it of today or any other days? Running guided competitions, well placed, well facilitated. It is the same answer. Engaging, inclusive education, student school efficiency, mutual. Climbing, running, okay. Another two, swimming, good, great. What are the another curriculum? Climbing, running, swimming, very, very great. And impressive capabilities are different, mutual understanding. Very nice, lovely words from you all. Thank you, dear teachers. You are truly genius, really. You proved it, huh? Excellent, well managed, sustainable development, efficiency, optimistic, inclusive education, fruitful. What is that? The fruitful here. Very nice presentation. Okay, that the feedback I will take it later on. Cooperative. And here playing, my God, so many words even I am not able to pick up and read. Thank you all the participants. It's really a lovely and energetic means feedback for me. So thank you and keep on writing. Again we will be meeting after this. Very impressive, running, climbing, so that you all are the means good listeners, so that means you are listening carefully, so you are the good teachers also. Thank you for this, because sometimes now what we teach we do not remember it, what is it taught in the class today, and we expect child should remember everything and should answer me immediately, फटाफट उसको आंसर करना है क्योंकि हमने पढ़ाया जो है. And sometimes we have forgotten ourselves what exactly we have given. So, thank you dear teachers for participating with all these activities, these questions. Now, you think of what should be happened exactly with this third and fourth questions. I will be back again. Then after looking at yourself as a learner, so working independently, complete the sentences, the work in groups and collect your responses on each statement. So, there are the few statements. I wish you to complete it on your own. Some of you now can utilize it for the chat box, in the chat box, so that I could go through it properly. And I learn slowly when, I learn quickly when. So, learning from textbook is, every learners have a different practice, you know, different type of means expectations or the kind of habits to be changed. So, sometimes it varies from one to other. So, you must have to fill it up as it is very convenient to you, or as do you feel in your class. Here are the inclusive education. The problem is not how to wipe out all differences, but in how to unite with all differences intact. Rabindranath Tagore rightly said. It is not the problem how you are going to wipe out all the differences. Thing is that you need to intact with all the differences. So, this is the challenge before the teachers. You must have to prepare yourself for every situation you are meeting every day. That is why it is said, the best teachers are the ones that change their minds. You are able to change the minds of others. So, here are the special education and the normal education. How do you make it sit? Normal child, round pegs for round holes, and normal teachers also, and special child, square pegs for square holes, and special teachers also. So, now we are talking about our inclusive education systems. These are the inclusion, you know. So, when if you are see the categorize of the students, some are there out of this circle, some are there in the different circles. So, when we segregate, that is the kind of students we are segregating. First is the exclusion, we have separated them from the group. In segregation, we have segregated them, we made it in another group. And integration, we are trying to integrate all the categories of the students into one. And inclusion, where all are flexible, all are privileged equally to sit and receive the learning what you are imparting in the classroom. So, we must have to focus on this inclusion. It is not that the exclusion, that is they should be excluded from the group, that should be treated differently, not they should be segregated, they should not be feel ki I am something different, they are something different. And integration, though we are integrating them, but we need to give them the flexibility. They all are equal to sit, to ask, to learn, and to put all their views what they feel. So, here there is another certain things for you. I just want you to have a glance on this skill and approach.
I made a square hole in the sheet of paper and a coaster, a circular coaster. I fold the paper in a mysterious fashion, and I can pass the coaster through the hole. Really passes both directions, and I haven't started cheating, it really is going through the hole. And yet, when I put these out, the diameter of the coaster is bigger than the diagonal of the square hole. What is going on? I didn't stretch, let alone tear. And yet, when I fold the sheet back in a judicious
It's not audible. It's not audible. What happened? They are all our teachers. What about others? Others have joined or not?
अच्छा, आप म्यूट कर देते हैं क्या मैम इसको?
मैंने की थी, मुझे नहीं पता है. It's now coming. Not. Hmm? I think there was a little network error, so it was might not be conveyed. So I'm playing it again. Please bear with. क्या नहीं आ रहा है? क्या हो रहा है? ये सब क्यों करते हो भाई आप?
ऐसे चला के देखते हैं.
I'm willing to give away the secret for free on this special occasion. It has to do with the interplay between the intrinsic or inner
इसको निकाल लीजिएगा.
ends, you can see that the part of the paper starts
yeah.
rising above the
आपको
floor.
आवाज जा रही है?
Hello, am I audible? Am I audible now? I think the video was not conveyed properly. Anyhow, so the diversity in classrooms necessitates changing the system to fit the needs of all children in regular schools. So, you can see a regular school system, how we are making them sit together and giving them the proper the skillful educations, and what should be difference between these three types of schools. In regular schools and special schools, no access to schools. Where there is nobody, there are three categories children included: other children, children with special needs, children from disadvantaged homes. So, if these three categories are included there, and you see the growth of the regular schools, and similarly what is the growth of the special schools and the schools which is not assessed at all. So, here the school settings integrated educations that we must have to develop or to bring the change the child to fit the system. Therapy rehabilitation where it is required, make the square peg round, it is must have to be mixed up, and system stays the same, child must adapt or fail. See here the another settings, we need to have very flexible system, change the system to fit the child. Children are different, all children can learn different abilities, ethnic group, size, age, background, gender, irrespective of all the differences, they are equally imparted the education. So, inclusion education has a broader sense, so that they could be enable themselves to learn and achieve their goal whatever they are seeking for. You could see sometimes the child puzzled with, and how we are what is the responsibilities of a teacher, or how to help this, how you are going to help this boy. Have you ever find such kind of differences in your classroom, any child like this? I do believe there is a best example in the movie, and I must say that is watched by everybody. And name of the movie, all of you will give it after watching this video, all of you will write down the name of the movie there in the chat box. Let us play it, and here I would like to know if the video will not be audible to you or visible to you, kindly drop a message, because from my side it is not, it is sometimes difficult to recognize, to understand whether is there any problem. So, I hope you will enjoy this video, could remind you certain things after a long time. Yeah. Is it going? Huh? Okay, what's the problem?
Why can't you?
It's audible. It's audible there. Nobody says this.
क्यों मैथ्स में हो अंडा, क्यों रोज खाते डंडा? Bravo, Professor, it does spell it all wrong. अक्षर जो नाचे क्या खाई है ना? Idiot, dafar, lazy, crazy, idiot, ये dafar. क्यों भाषा खराब, क्यों ना देते जवाब? क्यों करती नहीं try, why, but why can't you?
I hope you like this video, but I think there is might be some network error where there it is the audio of the video may not be passed on, but I do hope ki all of you understood, could enjoy this video, and as you have watched it earlier. So you here I would like to know to use the Mentimeter again. Could you just name these movies? What is the name of this movie? All of you have written it. Let me just check it out. Could you tell me the name of the boy who has, what is the role he played there? What is his name there in this movie? Can any of you write?
They are saying muted man.
I am muted.
No, they all are muted. I am muted.
You can utilize your Mentimeter. Excellent, fabulous. You just please write down the name of the movie and write down the name of this boy. Tare Zameen Par. Arey wah, great, great. Tare Zameen Par. And could you tell me the name of the boy to whom you have seen now?
They are writing no voice now.
How it is no voice? Where? क्या कर रहे हो आज आप दोनों भाई? हाँ?
लिख रहे you are muted.
मुझे ना कभी ऐसे एम्बारस मत कराओ.
Now voice is not coming.
Muted here. Am I audible now? Yeah, it's wonderful. All of you know the name of the movie, Tare Zameen Par. And could you tell me the name of this boy? Any of you? What is the name of this boy in this movie? Tare Zameen Par. Who was that boy? The protagonist of this movie. No.
Somebody is writing all different names. Harshil, Nishant, Vishant.
It is Nishant, correct. It is Nishant. Very good, very good. Thank you who has given the answer. So that means you have remembered the movie, and I hope you must be realizing the importance role or the role of the teachers, how much important it is there in the classroom for each and every child. We always focus on the bright students, those are answering us, those are cooperating, or those are regular certain things, and we often ignore these type of students, those are sometimes not, or most of the times not answering you all, where you feel as a disappointed one, and that is why they are being neglected. So this inclusive education, it means a system of education wherein students with and without disability learn together, and the system of teaching and learning is suitably adapted to meet the learning needs of different types of students with disabilities. Here you have seen the teacher in the classroom who was teaching Nishant's class, and the impatience and the expression or the feelings the teachers generated, why can't you? It is not the teacher of Nishant. I must say there are number of teachers among us who treated sometimes the students like this. There are so many Nishants in your class, but how many of you have taken into your concern as Nishant is a challenging boy before you, and your role is something very different or should be different for him, but we always focus on the same practice that you can't do. So, have you tried to address diversity in your teaching, because all are not equal, and you are there in the school, the system which is following the inclusion education. So, what kind of teaching or the skills or strategies, activities will you use to encourage equal participation of all learners in class? That is obviously a question mark on you, and you have to find it out, think of what should be it. I don't know whether this video will have audio or anything, I am just trying to show you. It's audible now. Thank you for watching. Now I would like to know, I hope this was audible. I would like to know now, can you use your Mentimeter? What is the name of this teacher? Or you will answer later. Please think of. And the name of the teacher, what exactly wanted to or he found in that boy, Nishant. So here, what is the guiding principles of NCF 2005? Keeping in view the guiding, is am I audible? Principles of NCF 2005, create a learner-centered inclusive learning experience for languages, mathematics, environmental science, science and social science. So these are connecting knowledge to life outside the school, ensuring that learning is shifted away from rote methods, enriching the curriculum to provide for overall development of children rather than remain textbook centric, making examinations more flexible and integrated into classroom life. Most importantly, nurturing an overriding identity informed by caring concerns within the democratic policy of the country. So that we must have to ensure that whatever during the process of teaching learning curriculum in the classroom, we have to focus on certain principles or the strategies we need to adopt so that it could be easily accessible to every child in the classroom, irrespective of there any kind of differences among them. So the role of teachers in accepting and addressing diversity is very important. It includes sensitivity for identifying differences in learners and appreciating them, sensitize peers about strengths and weakness of children with disabilities, accepting socio-cultural and physical variations among learners, modifying the curriculum and learning environment to suit individual needs. Ability to mobilize resources to provide options to the learner, use of technology to support learning, ensure participation in the learning process and avoid comparing children. Support and facilitate the use of mobility aids, wheelchair, crutches, white cane, whatever is required as per the availability, hearing aids, optical or non-optical aids, educational aids, whatever is needed or is available as per your physical availability of the school. Providing additional time and selecting suitable modes of assessment. On learning to gendered and stereotypical attitudes, promote respect for the roles that all genders play in their families, communities and the nation at large. Most importantly, all have to focus on one thing, that is we should not make any comparison. We obviously sometimes said that is he is better than you, he is good, you see how he is doing, how she is bringing all her works in time, and you have never done it. And in the beginning we that creates the demotivation and the child becomes demoralized, so that he or she even after in other event he could be excel, but could not dare to tell you, could not dare to share his expertise or the capabilities he or she has, because of the scaredness he developed because of your disregard and non-acceptance of his abilities. So promoting inclusive education in the transaction of disciplines, that is very important to know and provide support for. Lack of general vocabulary, understanding the wordiness, distinguishing words with multiple meanings like interest, table, credit, angle, rate, volume, PowerPoint, etc. Students who leap speech read may face difficulties in distinguishing mathematical words or mobility and manipulation skills or geographical terms and concepts, which you have seen in this movie what exactly Nishant was facing in calculation of mathematics. And the boy was also suffering from dyslexia. I hope there are so many instances of the great people were having dyslexia in their childhood and later on they got recovered out of that. But sometimes we ignore this in the children, and we um, try to reach the conclusion or being become very judgmental. That is what or he or she has done in certain space of time. So that must have to be taken into concern, where we found that is the child is of a dyslexia, or even that is either any other disabilities he has for the time being. Sometimes even I could say in my early school I faced there was a girl whose name was Anita, was an autistic child, but she was very keen about certain things in learning, and very cozy, find herself in cozy places, and very much fond with her class teacher. She didn't even be happy with her not ready to live with her mother, rather she feels happy to spend time with her teacher, and she tries to know and to involve herself in each and every activities in the school, where she was really not being allowed in certain cases. So there are so many instances before us. We meet in our classrooms different kind of children, but our behavioral aspect and acceptance is very much important for them to be felt, to make them feel accepted. Every child is being accepted by you. Once the child is being very convinced, very assured, and very sure that the teacher loves me, care for me, and cannot harm me, is enough to win the mind and heart of a child. So we need to, it is our responsibilities where we face certain kind of children in our classroom, to make them help them to make them comfortable in the classroom, so that they would be able to be the part of, feel like that they are also the part of the schooling. So promoting inclusive education in the transaction of disciplines, which is really also to be taken care, certain things give more time to some learners. Every children are unique, they cannot be expertise, everybody cannot be expertise in one event, and they cannot receive everything at a time. There are certain children to whom we consider as the slow learner, average learner, or slow writer. They needs obviously extra time as a concern from the teachers. So that has to be provided by the teachers also, and the schools to support for this. Equally, it is the responsibility of the parents to enhance or to support their children and create maintain the cooperation with the teachers. So providing need based support for understanding words with multiple meanings, new vocabulary, discriminating between words. Figurative language, idioms, metaphors, similes, etc. provide support for overcoming difficulties to access. Simplification of the language, tactile material, teaching aids for geometry, space to make calculations while solving sums, support in interpreting data in graphs, tables, or bar charts, help with interpreting oral directions or making mental calculations. So this is altogether the responsibility of a teacher to take care of everything in the classroom while imparting education to them. Children are not born with any prescribed identities. Become aware of linguistic assumptions. Know your linguistic backgrounds, get to know students' linguistic backgrounds too. Create classrooms flexible, accommodating multiple and diverse language uses, where there is more than one language used in any area, use of the preferred majority language. As NEP said now, very peculiarly it is defined that the child till class 5 are allowed or flexible to learn in their mother tongue, so that they could be understand everything easily and heartily. So now the responsibility of the teacher to make the child understand it. That doesn't mean every time you would go for this mother tongue or using the own language, so that the child would be again not able to understand the other languages. So there are other certain strategies which is used for the assessment. So the purpose of evaluation is not to force children to study under threat, to identify or label children as slow learners or bright students or problem children. Categories segregate children. So we need to be very careful while we are assessing the children. This is why I think it is already well known to everybody that the CBSE has changed its curriculum, that CCE was introduced for 10 years. I think more than 10 years we have followed the CCE. So only to create this feelings or making them comfortability that they are not categorized into 95, 96 or 99. So those students, those were good students, they were really demotivated, demoralized, so that the feeling, to create the feeling of equalities, that has been enhanced. I think there are other certain things which are been taken care on behalf of the students in NEP too, so which you need to go through. So in a mixed ability group, encourage varied responsibilities for a question, give clear messages, give adequate time to respond. Activities done for explaining the content can be used again for assessment. So allow flexibility in choosing answers. You must have to give the flexibility to the child to answer, to keep his or her views. So discussion points, provide into small groups. Each group has to discuss the following issues, which I am not going to discuss much now as we are running by time. So how will you make your school more inclusive? How does inclusive education help children to stay with their families and communities, and in what ways we can approach reduce discriminations? So the altogether, the what extent does this approach strengthen teaching methods and improve the quality of education for all children? That must have to be taken care by the teachers. So beyond inclusivity, beyond education, there are certain, as we discussed many things, what are the other concerns we need to take into our account, that has to be taken care, ki what are the kind of students we have taken and what are the feasible possibilities are there to provide them with the teaching aids or some materials which is very required for them. If it is viable for your schools or for you, so definitely you must have to implement it in your teaching curriculum. So additional resources, there are so many things here, I will not take much time, but I just wish you to know this. You can go through the website also. In the NCERT website there are a best example of some books, that is how you can implement all these things. The name of the book is Barkha. Reading series for all is a supplementary reading series developing according to the principles of universal design for learning. It is 40 stories spread across 4 levels. So I must insist, the teachers must have to see at least once that what exactly the stories or the books has brought into the child's career, or it affects our teaching skills. That must have to be gone, you can go through, so that you could be easily understand and can implement some of the strategies in your teaching learning process in the classroom. So expected outcome of this is, the module is an attempt towards enabling teachers and other stakeholders to use inclusive strategies and accept every child as a member belonging to the group, adopt attitudes and skills needed to work effectively with students from diverse groups, restructure the classroom physically and attitudinally to provide for the needs of all students, plan activities to ensure the participation of all students in class, and focus on practices in school to respond to the diversity of students, irrespective of all their disabilities, differences among them. It is our prime objective to find out, to go for what way, in what they are really can do excel. That must have to be understood or taken it in our account. So these are the some of the cover pictures, cover pages of the books. So you can go through in the website, there are so many things, and these are, you can take the screenshot, there are the website links, you can connect yourself to that. So I know some of you are might be worrying to leave, are you? I hope, is there anybody leaving now? So okay, I am going to wind up. It's the last video, and get ready for the Mentimeter after this video. Please have a watch.
Mat. Meat.
Big enough to sail our boats. एक कुएं में रहता था
एक कुएं में रहता
मेंढक
था
का साझा
मेंढक का साझा परिवार से
दादी में
the moon light mighty nice.
mighty nice. वेरी गुड. अब 3 जोड़ो. वेरी गुड. अभी इसमें 5 जोड़ो. कहाँ पहुंचे? वेरी गुड. अभी 11 कम.
Any penny they set off to a nose between each pair of eyes. Noses, noses every side. कोयल है चिड़ियों की रानी, कभी सुनी है उसकी कहानी?
Simbad was dazzled by multicolored lights were made of cake and chocolate.
Wow, great. I hope this is enjoyable. All of you have enjoyed this. Now, please, could you answer me what is the name of this teacher? Please use Mentimeter. And don't worry, it is already wind up session. So, I want some questionnaire from you all if you have any questions. And what is the name of this teacher? And what exactly you want to play a role as a teacher for all your children? Nobody? Oh, Nikum, Brancho. It is Nikum only. Very good. Are you there? I hope and I believe too. That is, you all are one on Nikum. They are in every school. If one day you are truly can become Nikum, so there would be no child left behind, or would be known as the child who doesn't. Why can't you? That why can't you concept being changed here, and he can, like Nishant. There are so many children around us could be changed, and we can really bring and create a great world before them. So they must have to be given the chances and to be understood, to be felt, and they must have been assured. One thing here I would like to add, that once when Nikum met his father in the school, when he has come to and very aggressive that why did you, I am standing by my child, do you think I am not doing anything for him? And Nikum's answer was very simple and straight. I hope some of you might be remembered this dialogue. निकुम का डायलॉग क्या था, किसी को याद है? कोई कहना चाहेंगे? अभी सब अनम्यूटेड है ही. All are muted. Please let us. Okay, any of you can write. What was the means? It was only the assurance, or whether it was a command from Nikum's side. That is what exactly he wanted to see in his father's eyes. As a father, what he's supposed to do? Only paying money, giving the luxurious life is enough.
All are muted.
Now all are muted.
Unmute.
Can I hear all are unmuted now? Okay. So can I hear from you, any of you? Any questions?
Bharti ma'am,
Yes, sir. Sir, good evening.
good evening. The presentation was quite nice. Now I want to know from all other teachers also, from you also, that you have in the beginning explained taking the story of animals.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that was quite nice. But I want to know that if all the animals are of one type only, that is squirrel, for example. No other than there is duck, there is no duck, there is no deer is there, no bird is there. All the squirrels are there. Okay? And we want to develop the diversification. Some squirrels, all the squirrels climb fast. But if there is difference in their climbing rate, how can you develop? How can you develop that attitude among all the squirrels to run fast? As we know that in our classroom situation, all of us, all the students are humans. Understand? Some of them are slow learners, some of them are faster, some of them are mediocre. Now here I want to know a solution for this respect.
Any of you, any other participants can answer this question or expected from me? Any other participants can answer this question? What Ramakant sir has asked. Sir, your question is... Yes.
Individually,
My
the
question,
students, those who
understand
are
or not?
running behind.
Yes, somebody is answering.
Students, those who are running behind, we have to deal with them individually.
Deal with them very individual. Very great, great.
Individually, we have to go with that, and up to try. We have to try to bring that last one along with the others. That should be our try.
Good. Any other answers from any of you? Yes, it is Pradeep Kumar sir. Okay. Any of you, any other who can answer or wish to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, it is not possible that in a single class every child is equal, because they are coming from this different localities, different backgrounds, so they have some different attitudes, different learning capacity. So as Ramakant has said that everyone is equal in classroom, how will we manage?
Everybody should be given the equal privilege, equal priority.
Yeah.
Question is that in our diversity, the classroom being diversities, we should give the equal priorities to the students. But the thing is here that as the previous sir has replied, that is the every child is unique, we need to give the individual attention. So the priorities need to be defined. Suppose the squirrel is good at certain things or the eagle is good at flying. So they must have to given the chance to flourish in that area, along with to support them to grow and to at least move on the same. It should not be leaving their own potentialities. They should grow and should be asked to do other things. What exactly happened in the animal schools? They have curriculum is designed, all the subjects being there, but they emphasized on all, where because one is trying to be best in running, whereas he is good at swimming. So this is why the swimming part was given the lesser important and the other part is enhanced or influenced. This is why they didn't succeed. This is the challenge before the teachers. What exactly it is expected now is in NEP says that you need to recognize the best capacities in the child and need to, this is why the vocational education is being implemented, and you need to make them understand in a different skill. Traditional teaching is not required, and you must have to understand that is the basic understanding capacity of the child is what. Obviously in the classroom every child is not equal, their understanding level is also different, so they need to be given the chance to flourish in their own area first and other areas. Suppose some are good at mathematics but equally is not good at English or Hindi, so what we do with that, we are trying to focus only ki that is you should write in Hindi. But if we are insisting only for Hindi or English language there, and the child who is interested for mathematics is losing his interest and he is getting being neglected for that. So looking into all these things, this is the responsibility of the teacher to take care which area you need to focus enough individually. This is why there is a saying, all of you must be knowing that the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. I hope you must have to define the kind of teachers you supposed to be in the classroom, whether you are going to inspire or to demonstrate or to just tell them, okay beta, it is written in the book, you have to do, and it is your principal asked me to complete the syllabus, you have to do. Either you want to truly demonstrate, to inspire the child, yes beta, you can do. What exactly, my last question was for you all, Nikum, what he did? He he developed the confidence in the child. Yes, like you, there are so many great people who are suffering from dyslexia. Including them, Nikum was one of the character who has suffered in his childhood the same. There were the example of Abhishek Bachchan, example of other great scientists. So many people. So somewhere he create this difference in him. Started believing which his parents never believed in him, कि that he do. And the dialogue, I hope if any of you remembered, you can tell me, or else I would like to repeat. उसने ये कहा था, यस आपने फादर होने की सारी जिम्मेदारी तो निभाए, उसको सारे लग्जरियस लाइफ दिए, उसकी सारे नीड्स को फुलफिल किए, कभी उसकी पीठ पर हाथ रख कर कहा कि बेटा तो जो कर रहा है अच्छा कर रहा है, मैं तेरे साथ हूँ. ये जो तेरे साथ होने की जो वॉइस है ना, जो टोन है ना, दैट विल ओनली लीड द चाइल्ड टू फ्लाई इन द स्काई. क्या आप लोगों ने ये भरोसा कभी अपनी क्लास में दिखाया, या कभी कोई पेरेंट ने इतना भरोसा अपने बच्चों में देखा? यही डिफरेंस है नॉर्मल एक जनरल टीचर में और एक कंसर्न टीचर में. व्हाट निकुम वाज ए कंसर्न टीचर. आई विश यू ऑल टू बी ए कंसर्न टीचर. आप कंसर्न रखिए, हर बच्चा एक जैसा नहीं होता, इसलिए वो कॉन्फिडेंस आपसे डेवलप कर ही नहीं पाता कि मैं जो बोलूँगा सर सुनेंगे, मैम सुनेंगी. रादर तो मैडम बोलेंगे तुझे तो कुछ भी नहीं आता, तुमने कभी टाइम पे आया स्कूल, रेगुलर स्कूल आया, तेरे पेरेंट्स को बुलाया था, कभी मिले वो, तुम कुछ नहीं कर सकता. ये कुछ नहीं कर सकता उसको हमेशा के लिए बंद कर देता है कि वो कुछ भी करने के लिए कोशिश ही नहीं करता. सो माय डियर टीचर्स, मेरा सिंसियर रिक्वेस्ट सभी को कोशिश करने देना है, हम समझाते हुए और समझते हुए, और पीठ पर जरूर हाथ रख कर उसको ये विश्वास दिलाए आप उसको समझते हो, आप उसको समझते हो और आप उसके साथ हो, और वो तो बहुत अच्छा कर सकता है. मैं ज़रूर इस बात को चैलेंज लेकर कह सकती हूँ, आप में से कई टीचर ऐसे होंगे जो आपको कभी लगा होगा ये बच्चा तो कुछ भी नहीं करता था लेकिन अभी बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है. और अच्छा करने के पीछे सिर्फ एक ही रीजन है, क्योंकि वो आपकी विश्वास जीत पाया या आपने उसमें विश्वास दिखाया. दैट इज़ ओनली द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ए टीचर्स और ए कंसर्न टीचर्स. Ramanand sir, did you get your answer? Ramakant sir, did you get your answer?
Yes, madam.
Thank you, thank you. Any questions? Any questions from any participants? हाँ, मुझे लगा है टाइम हो गया, सीबीएसई के हिसाब से 1 घंटा पूरा हो गया, बट ये हमारी फैमिली मेंबर्स है, दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट की टू कंटिन्यू लिटिल विथ योर इंटरेक्शन.
One thing is, I want to ask that the way the syllabus is designed, in that way can we segregate the students according to their wish or according to their will, means whatever, means according to their talent, can we segregate the class into different type of sections? Means as per their talent. Suppose one
See,
student is
how do you measure talent? First of all, as a teacher, you should know how you are able to measure the talent of a child. Syllabus is designed for
when
all.
we are discovering the
No.
when we are discovering the thing or discovering the
Are you having any confined parameter that you are able to define the child? Yes, he is talent in this. Are you doing that?
Yeah, obviously, ma'am. Suppose
No.
one activity we are conducting, and in
That's
that
partial.
that
I am telling you, this is only
but
partial.
I agree. Partial. But it is my question is it possible to
No.
in a large class? That's my question.
It is not, no, this
So
is
how
why
can
it
you
is
do that?
called the inclusive education. You have to give the equal priority in the classroom without discriminating into groups, or without, this is why diversity in unity is here. You need to find, if you found, as you said, categorize the students, we obviously do it, that is the fair children, average children, poor children and all, but you give the importance accordingly. Suppose the fair child is doing much better, so in that time, while you are giving any task, he will be taking less time. In the same time, you can give your personal attention to the weaker child. That is required. You need to excel the area he or she can grow well, but at the same time, you need to help others to understand. Do you know why a child loves the subject? इट इज़ नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ कि ही इज़ वेरी नोन टू दैट सब्जेक्ट को, उसको इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छा लगता है या एसएसटी बहुत समझ में आता है. ऐसा क्यों? वो टीचर्स को लव करता है. ही नोज द टीचर इज लवेबल एंड दैट ही इज डेवलप्ड द कंपैटिबिलिटी विद द टीचर, दैट्स व्हाई ही लव्स द सब्जेक्ट. इट्स नॉट दैट द सब्जेक्ट ही लव्स, बिकॉज इट्स द टीचर whose teaching manner he loves, that's why he loves this subject. This is why another quote, this is said, the influence of teachers extends beyond the classroom well into the future. It is not the classroom teaching, it is not the curriculum, but rather the influence of the teachers which really takes away the students. आपने कभी देखा, बहुत बार देखे भी बच्चे, आपके भी होंगे, जो हमारे पास्ड आउट बच्चे हैं, अभी कुछ बन गए हैं. समटाइम्स दे कॉल और दे मेट यू ऑन एनी मार्केट, दे सेड, सर आपने ना मुझे जो उस समय में पढ़ाया था, क्या अभी वैसे किसी को पढ़ा रहे हैं? और आपकी वही बात आज मुझे ये बना दिया. मैडम आपने मुझे तभी जो सिखाया था, बहुत डांटा था, क्या आज अभी वैसे ही डांट रहे हो सबको? लेकिन आपकी वही डांट शायद मुझे अपनी ज़िंदगी में कुछ बदलाव ला दिया. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द टीचर्स विच continues forever. You must be remembered few teachers in your life, in your school days, who has brought a changes in you. Maybe it's maybe a silly matter, maybe a very small issues, but that must be remembered. That is why a teacher lets its influence forever and forever. So any more questions? No. So I think we can wind up. So now the attendance link is already sent in the group. All of you please fill it up so that the certificate would be issued you smoothly. So thank you for your patient hearing, for a long time association, because one time turned to now 1.5 an hour plus. So wish you a very good journey further and have a nice day. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you all. तुम दोनों का क्या एम्बैरेसिंग करना भूलते नहीं हो? कंप्लीटली आई वाज ब्लैंक, यू नो.
ब्लैंक कहाँ? एक जगह पर
एक जगह का, दो जगह मुझे बार बार बोलो, मुझे समझ ही नहीं आ रहा क्या इंडिकेट कर रहे हो.
ये वीडियो ये इसके कारण आया, तो इसको हटा दिए तो फिर आने लगा. इससे डायरेक्ट
बार बार बोल रहे हो मुझे, जो सिचुएशन पहले क्यों नहीं ट्राई करते हो?
मैम यहाँ पे
फालतू की बात मत किया करो ना.
मुझे आपका जो
एक में इशू आया तो समझ में आया कि चलो इसके स्पीकर से करा लेंगे.
ना तो मुझे टेक्निकल एरर समझ में आ रही है, ना नेटवर्क एरर समझ में आ रही है.